Stamford, is that near where
Stanford.
you're
Yeah. I used to take the New Haven line from Scarsdale, which is right where I live, and go to New Haven, and you go through Stanford.
Hell
so yeah, that's pretty
Dude,
close.
So just letting you know, I usually like cut out like the first 10 minutes.
Cool. Perfect.
So we can just talk about just getting comfortable.
Yeah, right on.
That's the hardest part.
Absolutely.
Like in 5 or 10 minutes, you'll totally forget that word.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. No, we just gotta have a conversation.
Yeah, man. Dude. So what are you thinking?
So what am I thinking? I'm thinking it's finals week, and I'm thinking I'm absolutely sick of finals week is what I'm thinking.
Dude, me too. I'm almost done. I got one more final and then a paper to write.
Yep.
We're balling on a budget. We're ready to move home.
No, we're done.
Going to Acadia next week.
You're going to Acadia next week?
Yeah, with my whole class.
No shit.
Yeah, for Parks and Rec. We'll be spending time with park rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in Acadia are you going though?
I'm not sure. The base area? How big is Acadia?
Not terribly big. I always make jokes about Acadia. If you get lost in Acadia, just walk in one direction and you'll either find the ocean or Bar Harbor. So,
right. It's not too big. Most other national parks out west are like
huge.
Yeah, you could mess up.
Absolutely.
If you get lost.
I went to Yosemite in California, and just the absolute size of Yosemite and some of the national parks out west. You're right.
Oh yeah, dude. You ever hiked out west?
I have, actually. I didn't do a lot of hiking out west. I was only out west. It was a complete impulse trip to California. So I landed in San Francisco, met a buddy of mine who was in the Coast Guard out there, and we went from San Francisco to Yosemite. And we were going to go to the Sierra National Forest and camp and do some car camping. And the campsite that I reserved last minute didn't exist.
What? In California?
Yeah. So it was in the Sierra National Forest at this little campsite. And it was on recreation.gov. And I was like, it's the only one that's open. I might as well go for it. And it was a site that was in the middle of nowhere. So we're driving his old Ford Forester. I don't even know what this car was.
Camping at this point. It didn't even exist.
It was off-roading. We were taking logging roads. We ran into a couple of guys on dirt bikes, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing out here? We're like, we don't know. So we ended up going to Mariposa, which is a nearby city. And then from there, we went to Yosemite, and I hiked North Dome. So when you look at Yosemite, you think of El Capitan and Half Dome, right? And El Capitan is the really big one.
The one that Alex Honnold rock climbs, yeah?
Yeah. He free soloed that. He did it without ropes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Have you seen that movie?
I have.
I've never been sweating so much just watching a film.
The one scene where he's doing the boulder problem, which is that one section in the middle where he has to throw his leg out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My hands to this day, my hands don't sweat when I'm rock climbing, but I watched that scene and oh my God, my hands are just,
dude, just to have the balls. Is that simply what it is?
It's complicated with Honnold.
He's got something crazy going on.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of crazy in him.
They did neural scans on him in the movie, and turns out his amygdala just doesn't work the same way as humans, normal humans, I should say. Not to say that Alex Honnold isn't a normal human, but he's not a normal human. So, yes, his amygdala, something about it, it's really small or it's malformed. And he jokingly says desensitized. He jokingly says nonchalantly, he's like, maybe it's just because maybe it's just so squeezed because I use it so much to the point where it just doesn't work.
Right. Dude, I feel bad for his girlfriend in that movie. His poor wife.
It's so funny because she asks him, she's like, would you take me into consideration when doing something like this? And he goes, no, probably not.
Yeah, what?
It's you can't say that to your girlfriend, dude. And it's just the nonchalantness of him saying it. He's just like, yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah, man. Imagine being a filmer, filming that.
It was his close friends. Jimmy
that makes
Chin.
It worse.
Exactly, because you don't know if you're going to be filming him falling. It's just maybe it goes from him going for this move, and then he just goes out of frame, and that's it.
Yeah, no. What's that? Is El Capitan the mountain you're talking about 3 Empire State Buildings?
I don't know if it's that big, but it's freaking. You see it in person.
Yeah.
And oh my God, man.
Let's look up the height. The height.
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
El Capitan is
it is
3,000 vertical feet. So yeah.
But the elevation is 7,000 feet, dude.
Oh, 3,000. Oh, 3,000 feet from base summit.
Exactly,
So,
to the
yeah.
top, yeah.
But, I mean, the Sierras, doesn't most of those mountains start at, like, a couple thousand feet?
They're huge,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think when I did North Dome, so you have El Capitan and you have Half Dome.
Mhm.
And Half Dome's like, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, the North Face logo.
I've seen all the oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's actually a side profile of Half Dome,
Really?
taken from Glacier Point, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just the simple 3 lines?
Yeah, the simple 3 lines, so they go up and they curve to the side, and that's a side profile of Half Dome taken from Glacier Point.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that.
I would love to go out there, North Face. My uncle's, or uncle, I think it's just my father's best friends from high school,
Mhm.
is a designer for North Face.
No
like a
shit.
graphic designer.
No shit.
But, yeah, dude, that is cool. I didn't know that.
Not a lot of people do.
Yeah, right. Another thing I was gonna bring up, not only is Alex Honnold crazy, but have you seen all the other rock climbing movies?
I've seen quite a few of them.
Me too. buddy. I love
Um
them. Oh man, I'm a sucker for those. Don Wall, and who's the guy who died in Alaska?
In Alaska, was that,
He was the guy who kept like
Marc-Andre Leclerc?
Marc Andre. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was The Alpinist.
And that was a great movie too.
I have not seen that movie, believe it or
Oh
not.
man, they're all. I mean, I don't mean to call all rock climbers crazy, but extremists. Have you seen Don Wall? Yeah.
I have seen Don Wall, and in my opinion, and this is a bit of a
That's
hot take,
fantastic.
Don Wall is more impressive of a achievement
Yeah.
Oh.
Agreed. then
than free soloing, right? Because obviously, like, free soloing has the shock factor of the fact that he literally just free soloed, but he was doing a route that wasn't nearly as technically hard as the Don Wall.
right. There wasn't many places where he wasn't comfortable just
Exactly.
running up the mountain.
Right.
Don Wall, he didn't even have a thumb.
Yeah, he cut his thumb off
on a blade saw.
Yeah, he was cutting some wood, and he cut his thumb just
Crazy,
straight off.
dude.
Tommy Caldwell, and they were going at it blind too. Like Alex Honnold had run.
The route that he was
The
doing.
route that he was taking. I completely forget the name of it.
over and over and over for a year or two.
Yeah, just to get it perfectly to the point where he wasn't concerned about it.
Mhm.
These guys were going up the Don Wall blind, right?
Like they didn't know where they were going.
They didn't know the way to go up. They just kind of looked at it and they were kind of piecing it together as they went.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which that was crazy. There's this one scene where do you know what a dike is?
Yes.
Like it's like an igneous formation in rocks.
Yep.
Where a really hot substance, usually from the side or from the center of the earth, will cut through and like so hot. And so those like dikes where it's real like a different sedimentary on igneous rock.
Sure.
Or no, I'm sorry, different types of rocks, basically.
Right.
They were climbing across this band of granite or whatever.
Yeah.
That was just, it looked like a wall. It not a wall like a rock wall, but
just like a flat wall like this.
yeah, like a refrigerator wall.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh my god.
How do you hold on to that?
Right, without a thumb.
The guy's missing a thumb. He can't even go for like the solid cribs. He's
Exactly.
just not present.
But he's also like treats his wife weird. Actually, no, I think his wife's like more supportive. I don't know. It's been too many years since I watched that movie. But I do remember that being a connection with all of them, being like, wow, all these guys are weird.
Yeah, once you get to that level, in anything, you know what I mean? You just don't make sense to people.
Even basketball and football, professional athletes, I think are weird. I think are weird. Like they'll have like fat chains, huge ass chains, and be chucking money. And I'm like, and making TikToks and stuff. And it's like, dude, that is nothing I would ever
wanted to in life.
Yeah, I love basketball. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love football. But, you know, that's the same thing. Rock climbing, you know,
hiking too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you met
those
me,
types of people. So
that's an interesting group of people. Long distance hikers, like through hikers, people that do the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail. That
would be cool though. Meeting with another hiker if you're doing the Appalachian Trail and like hike with them for a week.
Yeah. The Appalachian Trail is actually super popular these days. The plan is, and don't hold me to this. The plan is allegedly. Yeah. The plan is to do it after college.
Dude,
start in Georgia and go all the way to Maine. Yeah, I've been saving up money for it and just kind of getting the gear and getting the experience.
Right. Have you ever read the book A Walk in the Woods?
by Bill Bryson.
Yeah, you've read that.
So it's funny.
Is it a real story? I don't think it is.
It is. So it's oh god, A Walk in the Woods. This is something
It's
that
about the Appalachian Trail for those who don't know.
it is. It is
And-
about Bill Bryson attempting to hike the Appalachian Trail. And the book is just rife with problems. Like when you're talking about
Absolutely.
when you're talking about the Appalachian Trail, the book is just rife with problems. For example, Stephen Katz didn't technically exist. He was a compound character of all the people that Bryson had met on the trail. I think Bryson makes it maybe to Virginia. And a majority of the Appalachian Trail, I believe, is through Virginia. Like 1,000 miles of the AT, and the AT is 2,190 something, goes through Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it goes from the northern point all the way to the western point. More or less.
It goes from the western point to the northern point. Yeah, for
either
sure.
way.
Either way. Yeah. Either way. Depends on if you're going up or down.
Yeah.
And Bryson goes through it, and I think he gives up.
Yeah.
Right? But then he has this crazy idea to try the 100-mile wilderness. The 100-mile wilderness starts in Monson and it ends right in Baxter, like 10 miles from Katahdin.
Yeah. I thought it ended at the Katahdin. Oh, not the 100-mile wilderness.
The 100-mile wilderness ends at an orange line on a bridge that's like the park barrier or the park border to Baxter.
Oh, really? So it goes from Baxter to Rangeley, more or less? Or
Baxter to Monson,
which is near
Rangeley.
Okay.
And Bryson has this crazy idea to attempt the 100-mile wilderness. I can do the end. I mean, I've done something. And he makes it to a logging road near Katahdin Iron Works, which is near Gulf Haggis. And he's like, I'm done.
He couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
But he made it from Georgia to there?
No, he makes it from Georgia to Virginia, gives up, and then he drives up to Maine and attempts the 100-mile.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's just, the 100-mile is gnarly. You are in there completely unsupported for 100 miles. It's not nearly as bad as Bryson makes it out to be in the book, but there's a lot of black flies.
I believe it is. Like, that's a difficult task.
It is.
I mean, not being able to re-up on supplies, being so tired or hot or
covered in bugs,
you name it.
Yeah, you get
especially when you get up to that spruce fir forest.
Yeah,
like black flies are probably crazy.
Mainstay bird right there. The black fly.
Dude,
I got
that's
some
funny.
stories about black flies. Oh my god.
So a kid I went to high school with, he actually graduated the year before I went to high school, but he did the Appalachian Trail with his father.
Nice.
But he got to ends in Georgia, right?
Southward it ends in Georgia.
He got to around Knoxville, Tennessee, which is 100 miles away from the end of it.
Yeah, like the Smokies, that general area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he said he couldn't do it.
Really?
Made it all the way from Maine to Tennessee.
He was almost done.
So close.
He was so close. What do you mean?
But think about it. That's another 10 days, dude.
Yeah. It goes from
another 10 days of hell.
Yeah.
Not 10 days of, oh, look at these beautiful mountains. Dude, you've been seeing mountains since Maine, guy.
You did the fun stuff at the beginning, and then now you're at the end.
And your feet are blistered to shit.
People lose toenails.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People lose toenails.
Absolutely permanently damage their feet. There's people I went to high school with too that they were like professional skier, not professional, but
semi-professional skiers.
Like
you know
what I'm
like
talking
semi-professional
about.
Dancers.
Yeah. But their feet were they were molded to their ski boots.
Oh, yeah.
So they had really, really these calluses on their heels that were about this size.
Oh my
that
god.
Came out the back. It looked like
that's horrendous.
Crazy. But that's probably the same thing happens on the AT.
No doubt.
You get really like shoes that are just grown into your feet at that point.
Your arches collapse, you lose toenails. Yeah, through hiking is not an easy task. I mean, it's a journey, right? It's this really philosophical journey. You start in Georgia and you just follow spring up to Maine.
Yeah.
And you go through the Green Tunnel, and then you end up in the Midwestern, or not the Midwestern states, but like the central states on the East Coast. And it's super exciting. And then you get past Massachusetts and you end up in Vermont. And Vermont's where it starts to get like, oh, okay, things are happening here. And then you get to New Hampshire and you get into the whites and you're like, oh, shoot. You know what I mean? Because that's when, because prior to Pennsylvania, it's just, up and down, rolling hills, mountains. The Smokies are rough.
Right.
But it's nothing compared to the
New
Northeast.
England is that's the hardest part.
New England's the gauntlet of the AT.
Really?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's cool. If I were to do the AT, I would start. I mean, you know the story of the person that did the AT the fastest ever.
Are we talking about Carl Metzer or Scott Jurek?
I don't know. The
Carl Metzer.
It happened, I think, in high school. But he, for those who don't know, did it in a crazy time.
2 months.
2 months. Yeah, I was about to say like 2 weeks, 2 months, something.
Not 2 weeks. No way can you do it in 2 weeks.
No way can you do it in 2 months.
But he did do it in 2 months.
But he did. But what happened? He got to the top of Katahdin and a bunch of people were waiting for him.
Oh, no, you're talking about Scott Jurek.
And he popped open a bottle of champagne and they
find the ever-loving hell out of him.
What the fuck, though? Like, I know you can't do that. Like, pop open a champagne bottle. Look, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 months, that's like having, I don't even know.
It's insane. It is absolutely insane what Scott Jurek accomplished. Having said that, so the reason why it's such the end was so heinous and so controversial was I was actually in Monson. I was not in Monson. I was in Millinocket talking to Old Man at Old Man's Gear Shop, and he explained it pretty well. He said that he popped the champagne, he sprayed the foam. The foam is sugar, right? So the foam ends up all over these really fragile alpine plants, right? And the foam.
Oh, because it's at 6,000.
Yeah, because it's at like a mile high.
6,000 feet.
Yeah, 5,000. A mile high,
yeah.
Exactly. And the smell of the sugar attracts bears. So now you have a bunch of black bears tromping up to the summit trying to get the sugar, and now they're interfering with hikers and creating a dangerous summit. And then bees also get the sugar, right? And these bees are building hives on the summit, and these bees are attacking hikers. So now you got to get these rangers to go up and knock down these bee nests. And that's at great expense to the rangers. That's a great expense to the park. And that's why the park was so angry at Scott Jurek. And Scott Jurek was going to
go full-fledged trying to.
He was going to contest it. Yeah, he was going to contest the fine. And his lawyers were like,
how much was it?
500, I think.
Oh, come on. That's not that bad.
I know. And it's definitely unfortunate because
it sucks. It sucks that
that's how it ended.
That sucks that's how it ended. It does, because that is like, that's an accomplishment,
a momentous achievement.
That's like LeBron James type. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
If you can walk from here to Georgia in 2 months,
he ran it.
He ran it.
He ran from here to Georgia.
Yeah.
Or from Georgia to here.
If he just didn't pop that goddamn champagne, Scott Jurek. What are you doing? What are you doing, fool?
Yeah.
Is that who it was?
Scott Jurek. Yeah.
Jurek. Yeah. Can't be.
Carl Metzer actually very quickly broke the record too.
How long did he do it?
It was just shorter than Scott Jurek by like 2 days or something.
Oh, wow.
But still.
What an asshole.
Yeah, I know, right?
He went like literally the day. He started the day.
Yeah.
That champagne bottle bopped off. He was like,
he's like, right, shit, time to go.
Coming for this record.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's kind of my goal, is to hike the Appalachian Trail at some point.
Wait, so did I ask you this earlier? You want to start from Georgia and see the foliage in the fall in New England, or start in the summer in New England and head down?
I want to start in Georgia. I think I want to start in March at some point, and then kind of make my way.
Dude, take your time.
Exactly. If I start in March,
no fucking need to do it in 2 months.
Exactly. I got plenty of time.
Yeah, dude.
Especially post college, because I'll be between life. So it's like,
you'll be meeting a ton of cool people.
Oh, definitely.
Knowing you, like,
oh, definitely.
Yeah. Camp spots.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards.
And I'm excited because I already have my trail name, so I don't have to worry about that.
What is it? What is it again?
Off Kilter.
Off Kilter.
So there's a whole story behind Off Kilter. So one of my whole things as of recent that has kind of become my personality is I hike with a kilt on, right? So I hike with this kilt. It's made by this really great cottage company called Purple Rain Adventure Skirts.
Scottish?
Cottage. So a cottage company in hiking is a company that's like a small startup.
No undies, dude. You let those things hang, dude. Yeah, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, yeah.
Depends on the day.
Off kilter.
So
Off of the others.
so yeah, so I got the trail name. So technically you're supposed to get your trail name on the Appalachian Trail, and that's like the whole deal. But I got it from a buddy of mine on a backpacking trip in Cutler. So Cutler's east, like really down east, like up by Lubeck.
Mm-hmm.
And like you backpack in Cutler and you get that text, and the text is like, "Welcome to Canada." And you're like, "What? I'm not in Canada."
Yeah.
But that's how far up north you are. So I bring out this really nice design skirt, this kilt, and I'm wearing it, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, he's wearing a kilt," right? Because apparently a guy wearing a kilt is absolutely insane. And we started talking about trail names because the guy has a trail name but won't tell me what it is. And I was like, "Yeah, I have one, but I kind of gave it to myself, and I need a new one." And he looks at me and he goes, and he just pulled it out. He's like, "What about off kilter?"
Because you're wearing a kilt,
Because I was wearing a kilt.
dude. You're the only. That's like perfect.
And we just laughed about it around this fire
Yeah.
on the beach. And I was like, yeah, that works.
You were in Machias down east.
Yeah, so like right up by Machias, the
Nice.
Lubeck area.
Dude, that's cool. I've never been down there.
You gotta.
Yeah.
Cutler-
Everyone has told me. I was like, I gotta find more gems like Sugarloaf in
Cutler.
Maine.
Cutler is a gem. It's a 10-mile loop, and the coastal trail brings you through these beautiful wildflowers. It brings you along the coast.
Oh yeah.
Glacier carved coast, really beautiful stuff. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Dude, even Acadia.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's probably like Acadia with way less fucking people.
Exactly. They
I
call
can
Cutler the
imagine
wild
it.
version of Acadia.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's definitely cool.
Yeah.
Acadia's cool. I mean, I love Acadia.
Absolutely.
Oh, so cool. But did you hear that like it's on like it's like receding from like great glacial I don't know. I probably shouldn't speak on it. But a dude I met at the cabin, Sam. I don't know if you know him.
Sam.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
He's
Is it my roommate? Like
no.
okay.
He was a geology major.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about glaciers.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that when the glaciers came over Acadia, they like they were receding, and then they're like now on the uptick. Now they're like coming back up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, which is no, it's like fine. It's just how glaciers work, apparently. Allegedly.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know anything about glaciers.
I'm talking out my ass right now. I'm sorry. Acadia's cool.
Acadia's really cool. The funny thing about Acadia is like, let's talk about the Precipice Trail. The Precipice Trail.
I've never been up it.
You haven't?
It's always been closed because of
peregrine falcons, probably.
Peregrine falcons.
Yeah, those little birds.
Cool though.
They're fantastic.
Fastest bird. Yeah.
But yeah, they're always closing the Precipice Trail because of peregrine falcons. So they like to make Acadia seem like it's like hard hiking, but it's not hard
Not at
hiking.
all. Yeah.
As somebody who does the beehive. I did the beehive with frozen toes.
Yeah.
Like my toes were literally frostbitten, and I hiked up the beehive. Like it's
oh yeah, dude.
That's the video that we were talking about, right? The video that you pulled up of me jumping in Sand Beach, and it was like I think it was 17 degrees out, but with wind chill, it was like a single degree. So I stripped down to my long johns, and I pull up my camera, and I'm like, "Hey guys, like I'm about to jump in. There's some birds, there's some ducks in there, and I want to go see these ducks, right?" So I like turn around and I jump in. And instantly, it was like, I regret this so hard.
Wait, who were you with? Were you with
myself?
A bunch of people?
No, I was with myself.
Oh,
the beach
nice.
was completely empty. It was just me alone on the beach in the middle of January in Acadia. And I jump in the water, and I get out of the water, and immediately my toes freeze. Right, so like you can bend your toes. You're just
yeah, you can.
And they turn white. And I'm
sometimes even when I'm skiing, my fingers.
Yeah,
I can't put my fingers together. Like
yeah.
this is. I'm trying to go like that.
Yeah, and you can't do it.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
So I walk back to my car because my car's in the Sand Beach parking lot, and I'm like, my feet are completely frozen. I'm walking over ice with bare feet, and I don't feel it because my feet are numb. From like all it took was all of like 7 minutes, and my feet were just numb.
You were in the ocean for 7 minutes.
Hell no, I wasn't in the ocean for 7 minutes, Manny B. No way.
I was about to say.
No, I was out of the ocean for 7 minutes, and
you're talking about just getting back to your car.
Yeah, when you're in the ocean, it's like warmer than when you're out of it because then the wind hits and you're like freezing.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
So I get back to my car and the shivers start. And I actually have a video that I didn't post. And I'm like shivering like a madman. And I'm like, hey guys, this is what shivering looks like at a really low temperature. I'm not doing this on purpose, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting there warming up in my car, and I look at this couple up on the Beehive because you can see the Beehive from the Sand Beach parking lot, and I'm like, my day's not done. I need to do that, right? So I put my shoes on, and I'm wearing like sweatpants underneath my hiking pants, and I just climbed the Beehive.
Yeah, man. Dude.
It was icy too. Like the slope up to the Beehive was icy. There was like a cross ice. And
the slope. Wait, did you
so
take the back way?
No, so you have the trail, and like the trail kind of goes up this like.
Are you talking about the way with the ladders?
Yeah.
Or the complete back?
Yeah,
you went up that in the winter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sketchy. Dangerous.
Yeah, it was a little bit sketchy.
Dangerous.
There were ice moments, and I was like, should I be doing this? And I'm like,
yeah. Oof.
I'm doing this.
So what was I gonna say? Ice baths?
Ice
Speaking
baths.
of cold stuff like that, I saw this thing on YouTube the other day that was it wasn't YouTube. Long story short, met this guy named Joel at one of these parties at OT across the hall from mine.
Word.
He's this guy from the UK.
Oh, nice.
And he basically is traveling all 50 states touring him, and he's a famous
Whoa.
YouTuber. Check him out, Joel Ezekiel.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
So
shout out to you, Joel.
Yeah, man. And fucking Joel found like one of the kids across the hall on a bus, and he like made friends with him because the bus broke down.
Oh wow, that's a great time to make friends with people when your bus breaks down.
So I met him that night.
Yeah,
just from he's a bloke.
So where in the UK is he from?
London.
Oh, and he's a southerner.
Yep, I guess so. No, actually, I think he's from Liverpool.
Still a southerner.
Yeah, but I was talking to him about Liverpool people apparently have their own accent.
Oh, they all do. Like the UK has like 20. I lived in the UK for a little while.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Yeah.
Technically, I lived in Wales, which is still part of the UK. So yes, I lived in the UK.
But what Joel was doing was he got to Florida and he met this like bodybuilder.
Oh Lord.
And he's like posting up in this ice bath every day. And I'm like, I would try that.
I would definitely try an ice bath. Yeah, I'd give it a go.
He was like, it's like a cup of coffee.
Like a cup of, I mean, it wakes you right up.
If you're in shape, if you're like doing tough workouts every day,
I don't doubt that it must feel so good.
Imagine doing a 10-mile hike
and then taking an ice bath.
Oh man, only for a minute. Only for a minute. It
would be so nice.
Yeah, it's weird because that would never feel nice unless you were just pooped sore.
And you know what's funny is like that's how a lot of sleeping is while hiking, right? So I subscribe to the ultralight kind of hiking. So there's like a bunch of different delineations of hiking, right? So you have like normal hiking, which generally like your pack is like 30 to 40 pounds of gear, something like that. And you've got a big pack. Your pack is probably 5 pounds itself. You have all the gear you need. You have like a stove, you have all this crazy stuff. And then you have lightweight hiking, which is like 20 to like 15 pounds, right? And you're starting to cut back, right? You're not bringing all those creature comforts. And then you have the ultralight, right? Which is somewhere where I am, where you're 12 to 10 pounds of gear on your back, right? And you're really going minimalistic into the woods.
And this is for, you're talking about AT.
Yeah.
10 to 12 pounds.
That's it.
So you got dry food.
Well, that's not including
one pair of clothes.
That's true. Yep.
What are you packing on the AT in your 10 to 12 pound pack?
All right. So I was actually going to bring my pack.
I wish you did. That would have been
definitely maybe on a future episode.
Yeah, no.
Maybe on a future episode.
It won't be the last time you're
absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna keep this going.
Yeah.
So my pack itself weighs just under 2 pounds.
Okay.
And then my tent, I think my tent weighs like 245. I have like a whole spreadsheet that I'll send you at some point. But like you cut a lot out, right? You cut a lot of like the creature comforts of hiking out, of the real like civilized world. You cut a lot of that out when you go ultralight backpacking, right?
You're like going boots.
I wear shoes. I don't even wear hiking boots.
Oh, dude, I would if you're doing the AT.
I'm wearing shoes.
You're wearing shoes the whole way?
I'm wearing shoes.
Ultralight shoes?
Ultra Lone Peaks. Yep.
Yeah. I will say I started wearing boots a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Once you start wearing boots, you never go back.
You know what's funny is I actually had the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Because I started when I was hiking North Dome in Yosemite.
Yeah. Just work boots too. I'm not a as big into hiking. So.
Right.
But sorry, yeah.
When I was hiking North Dome in Yosemite, I had these really heavy oboes bridgers. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, like this is it. This is what I'm doing. This is the hiking. Like I'd
It's
wear like
carrying
short
around
shorts.
bricks
I'd
on
wear
your
short
feet.
shorts and these like really heavy boots. And then I had somebody and they were like, you should get into trail running shoes. I'm like, frick, no, I'm not getting into trail running shoes. I got my big boots. And then I tried trail running shoes. And I'm still wearing trail running shoes to this day.
Dude, I'll take your word for it.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I mean, I have a pair of Keens.
Oh, Keens, yeah.
Yeah, and those are my hiking boots, but dude, mostly I'm wearing work boots.
That's fair.
And once they
break
mold
in
to your feet,
I mean, yeah.
oh man, it's like a slipper. It's like you're excited to put it on in the morning.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. So I'll tell you what, dude. Let's talk about shoes for a second.
All right, let's talk about shoes. Oh shit.
And these motherfuckers. Don't mean to get all fucking
Oh damn, Manny. What you doing out here with those chacletas?
But Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
Dude, a long day of hiking or work.
Oh yeah, you absolutely
take those friggin' disgusting ass sweaty socks off.
Oh yeah.
Toss them in the washer and put on those Birks.
Yeah.
It's like walking on a cloud.
Yep, absolutely. I remember the first time I did Cutler, going back to Cutler, 14-mile day. I was actually, funny enough, hold on, if we're bringing our feet into the picture.
Yeah, no, let's show these things, buddy.
So these are actually the shoes that I wore on, these are actually the shoes I wore on that 14-mile hike. And as you can see, these shoes are destroyed. Like we have the front toe box is messed up. There's a hole right here that I could physically stick my finger out. This is screwed up. The tread is absolutely gone.
For the most part, though, they work. They work perfectly.
I'm still wearing them,
dude, buddy. Those type of shoes are like work shoes. Those are like work boots. My father has a pair of those.
Yeah,
he loves them. He lives and dies by them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't know what type of shoes you were wearing.
Absolutely.
But light treads.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of into shoes. Not like a sneakerhead, as in like basketball. Not like that, but just always having the right type of shoes on. Whether it's like a water keen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to the river for the day.
Yep.
I don't want to like step on rocks, this and that.
Yeah.
Always kind of just been into that.
Yeah.
A little bit of style too.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah, you style in there.
That's kind of like my backpack is like the whole thing about style, right? Like my backpack is like sleek white and it's a pretty piece of equipment. I'll definitely show you, bro. Like I'll bring it in for a future episode.
Dude, I'm stoked.
And we could do like it on what is in my pack, like an unpacking, and like I'll show you just all these absurd little ultralight gadgets.
Yeah.
So my camp knife, right? Okay. So most people bring like
this is what I got. I just found this Leatherman.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Where'd you find this?
Dude, at the campground. We own a campground. Also here.
Yeah.
Quick sponsor, Acres Wildlife Campground, Camper's Paradise in Southern Maine.
That's right.
Yeah.
Check it out. Go check it out.
Check it out.
Oh, that's
But like, is this too much weight?
For me, it would be.
Yeah.
Which is insane, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
So my camp knife is I gotta show you this thing, Manny B. It's a razor blade with a handle.
Is it? Do you know the exact name?
It is it's a oh god, if you look up, so go on, what is it called? It's like a safety razor, right? Safety razor. Look up ultralight camp knife.
Okay.
Yeah. Look up
ultralight safety razor.
Oh nope, not a safety razor.
It's coming up with
actual razors.
Yeah,
that one right there. No, that one right there. See the one with the orange handle?
Yeah.
That is my camp knife.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yep, that's it.
Does it flip it?
Yeah, it folds in.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll leave the link in the comments. Damn,
definitely. That is it. Yeah, Dermasafe. It's a Dermasafe folding razor knife.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's what I use.
It's 2 pounds, or 2.2 ounces.
I don't think it's like
less
than an ounce.
Teeny.
It's it's like this big. Yeah,
it's
super small. Like, yeah, this big. Yeah, like you can tell what I'm saying, right? And then my headlamp is just like 2 pieces of bungee cord, like just these absurd things that we do to cut weight as ultralight hikers. But I love it.
Yeah, dude, I love it too. That's fun. It's part of it too.
It's the challenge of it too.
Have you ever heard of people bringing books on the Appalachian Trail and ripping out every single page?
Exactly. Just these crazy freaking things that people do to cut weight. Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool, dude.
Yeah.
Are you gonna bring some books?
I always carry a copy of Grandma Gatewood's Walk with me when I go hiking.
What's that?
It's a book about Emma Gatewood, the first woman to through hike the Appalachian Trail
I think
solo.
I've heard that. Yeah.
She was 68 years old when she did it.
What?
Yeah.
What year?
It was like in the 60s. It was I don't know
60s.
exactly what it was, but it was back when the Appalachian Trail was in its infancy.
Just started, yeah.
Yep. And the trail wasn't maintained. Like there were still like booze cruisers out there with guns and stuff. Like she was in the wild Appalachians. This was back before the Appalachian Trail got modernized.
And even then, dude, think about it. 100-mile wilderness back then.
She did it.
It was
This 68-year-old woman.
It was probably way more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Way less colonized in the 60s.
This 68-year-old woman did that in like tennis shoes, right? So like Vans, right? She did it in Vans. She had a
Converse, probably. Right?
Converse, yeah, Converse.
Literally no soul support.
Exactly. I got a story about Converse.
They're heavy.
Yeah, she's doing it in like these tennis shoes with like a sack full of her gear. And her gear was like 10 pounds. Like she was the OG ultralight through hiker was Grandma Gatewood. So I always carry Grandma Gatewood's Walk with me to be, it's kind of like a remembrance piece about Grandma Gatewood. Yeah.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just trying to get back into reading now.
Absolutely.
Flipping the pages feels so good.
Yeah. There's something about, reading online, like reading on like a computer, it just drains your eyes. But there's something about just grabbing the paper and flipping it that is so nice.
Yeah, it really is. And you're like excited and you want to get back to it.
Exactly.
It's like watching a movie. It's way better than fucking watching a movie.
Yeah.
All these lazy motherfuckers now with their TV screens.
Oh my
and their
God.
remotes.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Once you get back to like someone reading to you,
like
that's like a natural movie. It can go however you want in your head.
Absolutely.
So cool. I love reading.
Yeah, reading. I used to. So it's funny enough. I'm actually more of a writer.
Yeah, I love writing too, but mostly freestyle raps.
Hey, okay. Well, let's talk about how we met. Actually,
okay.
So we met in the cabin. Do you remember? Of course, you remember this.
Of course, I don't remember. I basically, speaking of the cabin, I lived in the cabin this winter.
He did live in the cabin.
I mean, I spent so much time in the cabin. I can't really pinpoint the night we met because I felt like I've known you. I felt like I've known you.
Yeah, exactly. We've known each other for. It just feels like we've known each other for a while.
Yeah, dude,
absolutely.
You're one of those people. Whenever we meet up, it's like there's no time lost.
Hell yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like my guy. How you
Abso-friggin-lutely. So we met that night because it was you and I think who was with Matt, right?
Matt Gambino.
Yeah. And you guys were sitting there, and I pull up with all my ultralight gear, and I'm like going into the Bigelows that evening, and I'm like, I'm gonna start at 2 a.m. and I'm gonna get this alpine start in the Bigelows. I'm gonna camp in the Avery Cove.
I probably said something douchey like, "No, you're not,"
and you were right. But I get there, and I walk in, and you're sitting there, and you're just like, hey bro, you want to freestyle? And we just freestyled for we ended up just like freestyling for like 2 or 3 hours. And I was like, no, I'm not going to the Bigelows tonight. We're not doing that.
Dude, no, that was a great time.
That was such a great night. I am so satisfied that that's how my night ended up going.
Hell yeah.
And I remember Jess being like, I'm so sorry. I know you have to get up at 2 a.m. Aren't you going hiking? I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
2 a.m. to go hiking. You were really going for it.
I was really, so I had this, I don't know. I had
2
this
a.m., buddy.
I had this like hardcore complex. It happens. Like I'm not, you don't have to. One of the most important pieces of advice I ever got, and was from a book called Training for the New Alpinist. You do not have to be 100% hardcore 100% of the time.
Yeah,
you don't.
It's true.
You don't have to be 100% hardcore.
It wipes you out.
It does. It does. And
it makes you not want to do it.
And it makes you just not relatable.
Do you know like that kid in high school whose fucking dad fucking was great at soccer or whatever, or like tennis? Let's just say tennis, right? And Billy and his son Bob's got to be the next fucking tennis prodigy. But then he just like wipes his son out just from like trying to be too hardcore and trying to make him as hardcore as he was. And it's like, once you try to match those levels, it's like people lose interest in other. And
you just no longer become relatable to people, right?
Oh, that's so true.
So let's talk about that. Like let's talk about true. Like I gotta tell you. So like the crazy shit that I've done in my life,
Mhm.
90% of the things that I've like the crazy experiences, I don't tell people.
Mm.
Like if any of you that know me, did you know I spent 3 weeks living in South Africa on a private game reserve?
Now I
Because I
do.
don't, okay,
Now I
yeah,
do.
because I don't talk about it. I don't,
Yeah.
because it's like I just want to connect with people, and I don't want people to think that I'm like this crazy badass dude. I'm just a dude who wears a skirt and does crazy shit in the woods. Like that's all I am. Like,
Dude, tell me about Africa.
oh boy. So
a couple episodes we had a dude from Africa on.
really, where is he
Yeah.
from?
Ghana.
Ghana.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's my neighbor actually.
no
Me and him
kidding.
are really good friends.
That's
Shout out
awesome.
Cyril. But,
Absolutely, Cyril.
yeah.
I'd like to
He's
meet you
never gonna watch
sometime.
this.
Shout out. He's never gonna watch this.
Fucking Cyril.
Oh well.
My guy though. Love you.
So I had just graduated high school, and literally a few weeks later, I was on a plane to Johannesburg, South Africa. I had gotten really lucky with a volunteer position
Mhm.
in Pinda Private Game Reserve, which recently has become like this really huge thing because they reintroduced pangolins,
Pangolins? Is that the?
like those little scaly armadillo creatures.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this is they're in Mexico too, yeah. I think they're in South America.
I think they are in South. I think.
But I think they're used as like rodent control.
I don't know. I think penguins
I
are.
think I'm thinking of Chupacabra was.
Chupacabra?
Yeah,
That's a cryptid, bro.
Chupacabra.
Chupacabras don't exist.
No, no. I'm thinking of that little. Have you ever been to Mexico
I have been to Mexico, but I was like 2 years old when I went.
or the South Texas? It's probably in Texas.
Furthest south. I mean, I've gone to Florida. Like I've
Yeah.
gone south, like Florida.
Anyways, I cut you off, buddy.
So Africa.
Pangolins.
Yeah, pangolins. So Pinda Private Game Reserve. So I lived on Pinda Private Game Reserve for 3 weeks, and I lived in the camp on the reserve. And one of the first things they told us, we had an electric fence around the camp, and one of the first things they told us was just act like it doesn't exist. It's not going to stop a lion. Great, cool. So now I'm just this like, yeah, this 18-year-old high school grad who's in the middle of Africa and surrounded by lions. Great. So we ended up working game drives. So what we do is we go out every morning and we monitor the big 5 species. So your white rhinoceros, your elephants, your lions, your leopards, and your Cape buffalo.
Is this for the Peace Corps?
This is not for the Peace Corps. This was a private volunteering opportunity.
And it's environmentally like, is it for keeping populations stable?
It's just to manage the populations, make sure that no funny business is going on in terms of
like
poaching.
hunting. Yeah,
Yeah, poaching.
That's important.
Yeah.
Especially in Africa because there's a lot that goes unnoticed.
And I could talk
unchecked.
for hours about this socio-political problems of poaching and how that fits into the anthropological spectrum of Africa.
Okay,
but-
wait, hold on.
Okay.
Can we just branch this off for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Who the fuck shoots a giraffe or a white rhino
Okay, let's talk about rhinos. All right.
and then like takes a picture by it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is the biggest one. I shot it. Like, oh my god.
so
that's not what.
that's not.
No one thinks you're cool, buddy.
So not, yeah. I actually got into a dispute with a coworker of mine about this exact thing. Humane catering coworker, by the way. And she's like, well, it gives back to the, they donate the meat to the village. They, this animal is usually handpicked and it's dying or sick. And I'm like, okay.
Then why would they give the meat if it's sick?
It's just it's hard to track these things. It's hard to manage these things, and it's hard to keep an eye on whether or not this is being done sustainably and responsibly. And yeah, I agree. I personally abhor white tourists who go to Africa and shoot big game animals, right? Because these animals are keystone species in every single one of their environments. Having said that, I think elephants are a fantastic example of needing to balance both sides, right? Everybody loves elephants. I am no different. I ran into elephants in my time in Africa, and it's a beautiful species. Elephants are absolutely beautiful. Their brains are so big. They're such complex animals, right? If you run into a squirrel, right? A squirrel has a very set behavior pattern, right? Because a squirrel's brain is like this big. Elephants have massive brains, and elephants feel such complex emotions. They feel loss, they feel regret, they feel love.
Yeah, they're like whales.
They're like, exactly. Yeah. And when an elephant dies, they will revisit that site and mourn it every single year. And it's just, these are beautiful species. And
do they still ride elephants like horses?
in Asia.
In Asia.
You can do it in do it in Asia. African elephants will rock your shit.
Yeah.
African elephants are very, very spirited animals.
I saw this video of, I know this is probably not what we're trying to go for if we're going for elephants, but it was an elephant, how it died because of a poacher tried to get one of the legs, you know, those traps. If the elephant steps on it.
Yeah.
Either way, they killed it just because it was going to die.
Yeah.
And it was basically for a National Geographic thing.
Yeah.
And they were showing like it's a graveyard, right, of this dead elephant.
Yeah.
But not of the other elephants coming, but the hundreds of other species that come to that dead elephant and don't fight with each other over the meat, but all call it. It's like going to a dead whale in like Alaska.
Yeah, you see like the polar bears and shit going to dead whales.
Yeah, they're all like friends. They're like, you know what? Truce for now.
Exactly. Like there's plenty to go around, guys. We don't have to. Yeah,
exactly. And it's not only that though. It's every single type of insect, every single type of
it's kind of terrifying
animal. It's different stages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's damn, nature works its way.
It really does.
Beautiful.
So my time in Africa, I have plenty of stories ranging from running into a lion in the middle of the night in a car, in an open car.
Was that crazy?
Yeah. So there was these two male lions were brought in from a neighboring park in Mozambique. And just to increase the genetic diversity of the lion population, because this is a fenced in reserve.
Yeah.
And naturally that just threw the entire lion ecology into haywire, right? Because all these young males that were native to Pinda all of a sudden had these two really strong males coming in. They're like, oh shit, right? So there were lions displaced all over the place, male lions displaced, but we ended up running into these two, right? So they had like collars, right? And they had like the telemeter, right? So like you see like the guy and he's like doing this whole thing. That's called telemetry, right? And that's to pick up the signal of the collar. So we had just been finishing up for the night and the sun was going down. You could start to see like the stars of the southern hemisphere, which are incredible, by the way. And it starts beeping, right? It starts getting that slow, like Jurassic Park beep.
It's getting closer.
Because it's getting close. It's getting close to us, right?
Are you in a Jeep?
We're in an open Jeep, right? So if this thing wanted to hop in, he could have sat with us, you know? So it starts beep, you get that slow beep. And like everybody's like, oh shit, like here he comes. He's coming, right? So we pull off to the side, right? And we put the red lights on, right? Because the red lights don't affect the lion's eyes. And it's getting faster. The beep is getting faster and faster. And we just see these red eyes. And it's this massive male lion, one of the two brothers. And he's slowly walking towards the Jeep, right? And he gets within touching distance of the guy next to me, looks at the Jeep and does a little jump, like a little gallop, like he's about to jump in the back, and then runs off.
What?
Woo! I tell you what, man.
Dude, were you the lion jumped in the back?
He made a move like he was going to.
Yeah.
Like I have a video and I'll try to see if I can find it.
You were holding your phone up through this?
I wasn't. No, I was like,
like,
well, there's a lion right there, bro. There's a lion right there, bro. There's a lion right there. Like, no, I was not holding my phone up. I was too busy focused on.
That's what I was saying.
Mister there.
I would have been burning rubber trying to get out of there.
Well, if you burn rubber, it's gonna be like, oh, it's running. I should chase that, right? It's a chase reflex, and all predatory animals, even that bad boy right there has it too. The chase reflex.
Yep.
Funny enough, I ran into a black bear in Cutler too.
In where?
Cutler.
Oh, in this last weekend in Machias.
Not last weekend. I was solo hiking Cutler, the 14 mile day. Not to jump from Africa to Cutler. We will come back to Africa, folks. I promise. I got a story about how I got shit faced and nearly killed by a hippopotamus. Stay tuned. So yeah,
almost got killed. Back it up. What?
Yeah.
Wait, you were getting trashed?
We got trashed. Okay, so long story short, we got trashed at a local dive bar in a nearby village. This village, Sadwana Bay. And it was the night of the World Cup, and it was France versus Croatia. And we had these two volunteer sisters from France.
Yeah.
And they were staying with us, and they were like invested in the game. And me and my buddy from the UK were just like, no, we're just fucking drinking, right?
Yeah.
So one of the girls was a sommelier, right? So she was studying wine all over the world. She's in South Africa studying wine. And she's like, here's a really nice Sauvignon Blanc. Do you want to try it? And and she's saying with this French accent, she's full on France moment. And I try it because I'm 18 years old and I don't have like a terrible amount of drinking experience because I'm from the US.
Yeah.
Right. And I drink this Sauvignon Blanc and I'm like, yeah, that's really good,
Yep.
And then my buddy from the UK busts over and he's like, hey, bro, we're doing Jaeger bombs. Okay, cool.
And you're you didn't drink a lot in high school, so this is just
this is
slamming
this
you.
is new.
This
right?
is slamming
So
you.
what is so for all my people out there, what is the phrase? Wine before liquor?
Never been sicker.
Yeah.
Liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
You're in the clear.
Beer before liquor. Yeah.
Never been sicker. So I drank wine and then I drank liquor. So
I feel like wine always makes you sick though.
Yeah. If you drink wine.
So does liquor. Let's be real. Like
that's not wrong.
Yeah. So yeah.
So we're driving back and I start to get like the really like, ooh, I'm not feeling so good, right?
Yeah, spins. You gotta throw up.
Yeah, we got the spins. So we get back to this northern camp. It was Swilly's. So we were in Sutton Camp, which is at the southern tip of the reserve, and the northern campers were the other volunteers were.
Mm-hmm.
And my roommate, Dom Greenwood, shout out to Dom Greenwood. Please watch
this,
buddy.
Baby.
Shout out to Dom Greenwood. I fucking love you, buddy.
he's from UK.
He is. He's from
Ilkley. Going international.
Yeah, he's from Ilkley, which is over by Leeds. It's over by Leeds.
Nice.
So he's inside doing birthday shots because it's one of the volunteer coordinators, Richard's birthday. And he's like doing shots of like Jack Daniels. And I'm outside with my head between my legs. I'm like, oh man, this is rough. So you don't think this, but in the middle of the winter, Africa gets cold, right? And it was the middle of the summer over here. So it was July. So over there was the winter.
Middle of winter. Southern hemisphere. Is that all winter?
No.
Is it winter when it's the summer?
It's yeah, it's when it's summer here, it's winter there. So we're driving back and it's super cold and I'm just in this like really small like jacket. I'm like freezing and I got like the cold sweats because I'm like drunk and sick and got the cold sweats. And we're driving back and we had the red lights on just so we don't like if any animals cross the road, like we don't mess with their eyes. And I remember looking at the stars, beautiful stars. And I remember praying and I'm like, God, if you can hear this, send a lion or a leopard and just have that fucker grab me, drag me into the bushes and be done with it because I am fucked up. Well, God listened. God absolutely listened, but he decided, no, I'm going to make this fucker pay. So yeah, he had it out for me that day. So we see these two red eyes and I'm afraid of.
You've seen is this pre-lion attacking you guys?
This is pre-lion. Yeah.
So this is the first time you've seen red eyes.
So this is the first time we've seen these big red eyes, but this wasn't a lion, Manny B. It was like the scene in Lion King, where like it's like the close up on Simba's face as he realizes all the wildebeest are pulling up.
Yeah.
It was that on my face. It was a fully grown, it was a fully grown, fully pissed off hippopotamus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was a hippopotamus.
Out of water?
Out of water, which is really dangerous. When they are out of water, they are mad. And hippopotamuses are just mean creatures. Like they just attack people for the sake of attacking people. And they got big mouths. Like their mouth is probably the size of this table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so this hippo,
they're the most aggressive animals on earth, I've heard.
I would personally agree with that. Yeah.
It was like dangerous to be around.
I
don't know. Most dangerous animal is technically a mosquito, but
technically, yeah, it is because it transmits disease. But no, this hippopotamus is squaring up with the Jeep. And so if you can imagine the situation, so you have this volunteer coordinator, this big Afrikaner, which is like the European, like the Dutch people in South Africa.
Yeah.
His name's Winston, really great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like trying to like back up the Jeep so this hippo doesn't like charge us. I'm in the seat next to him on this side in the fetal position crying. I'm like, there's a hippo and I'm about to die. Right. There was this lady named Tracy and she was from Malta and she's like behind me trying to comfort me.
You're trashed.
I'm trashed. Absolutely. Like 18-year-old Pierce, like no sea legs, like trashed. And my roommate, Dom, again, shout out to Dom Greenwood, is in the back with his sweatshirt open, just like, how do I do this? He's just like, oh man, the stars are just so lovely tonight. It's the breeze is so nice. There's a hippo in front of us. So it's just so movies get it wrong. When an animal is about to attack you, it does not telegraph it. The animal will run up to you straight faced and just go for you. Like, you see movies like you see like the show Zoo, right? Where the animals get like the sentience disease and like they start attacking. like the lion will roar or he'll do something and then he'll run up and attack. Completely wrong. Animals will just walk up to you straight face and attack you. So we worked with rhino.
Mhm.
We worked with Cape buffalo. We worked with aggressive male Cape buffalo. We worked with lions, cheetah, leopards. Didn't really work with leopards. Leopards were super elusive. We ran into one. But this hippopotamus was the only creature that made a move towards us. And I was like, oh, he's about to fuck our shit up. Because he turns around, right? I remember this just like it was yesterday. He turns around and we start inching forward to see if like we can get by him. And he did a 180 so quickly.
The hippo?
Yeah. To square up with us again.
And you were freaking out.
I was bugging, dude. I was so messed up. And I started crying. Yeah. Thankfully, the hippo decided that we weren't worth his time, and he ended up going into the water. Had we gotten between the hippo and his water, he would have flipped the Jeep, no problem.
Oh, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Things are jacked.
Yeah, they're strong.
Have you heard in South America where that Pablo Escobar?
Yeah, his hippo population like fixed South America's ecology.
It did?
Like apparently because he had like a hippo population.
Yeah.
Right.
Or he had a zoo.
He had a zoo, right?
Once you get so rich, you just want to start buying animals.
Either you're Joe Exotic or fucking Pablo Escobar. Oh, Jesus. That bitch Carol Baskin.
That bitch Carol Baskin.
So yeah, so apparently the hippos got out of the zoo and they started to like
I don't think they got out of the zoo. I think Pablo Escobar died or got arrested.
Yeah.
And they just didn't know
what to do with them.
So
they released him.
No, I think they made it into a
sanctuary?
Amusement park, like his old house. Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, like
imagine being so rich that your house becomes an amusement park.
Not an amusement park, but like a museum.
Like a museum.
Yeah, but they didn't know what to do with the hippos. And the hippos just became part of South America.
That's insane. That is insane. But, yeah, and apparently like there was a keystone species that had been extinct for a while and the hippos just filled that niche. That's what I heard. I don't
really.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which is wild. I don't understand.
Well, they are a huge ecological key. Like talk about keystone. Have you seen the fish? How they feed off hippos?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So cool.
And the
it looks like a
egrets
foot
and
massage.
Yeah, and the egrets, the little birds, they'll feed off of them too.
They land on top of them.
Yeah. It's funny enough. What are they called? Zebra oxpeckers were a species we'd see on rhinos quite a bit. And because that was the species we worked with the most. We'd work with rhinos and we'd like go up to these rhinos and we'd sedate them. Like I have pictures of me holding rhinos, like propping this like 2-ton rhino up.
Right.
And we'd like take DNA samples. Right. So you'd take like a little bit of its fur, a little bit of its skin, a little bit of its horn shavings. And so it was a forensic thing. So
Did
if
you
this
take a tooth?
No, we did not take a tooth.
How old would you how do you determine how old it was?
It's a great question.
Because I know that's the only way to determine.
So funny enough, so
a lot of
rhino horns. Let's talk about rhino horns for a minute. What people don't understand about rhino horns is they grow back. Right. So if a rhino has a really, really long horn, it means he's been around the bush quite a bit. In South Africa, one of the things we do is we remove the horn. So that generated a lot of controversy when I did it. So what you do is you sedate the rhino and you remove the horn. You have a trained veterinarian do it. And it's a dense horn, right? So you take a chainsaw. And
it's literally like a tree trunk. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah,
Is there like growth rings?
Might be actually. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It grows back every year. I mean,
yeah, they grow back. They're keratin, they're fingernails. A rhino's horn is fingernails. Yeah. So you take a chainsaw and you cut through the horn. There's no nerve endings. Like in fingernails, there's no nerve endings. And then you put like restorative enamel on it, and it keeps the rhino safe from poachers. Because what are poachers going for? They're going for the horn. Right, because the horn in a black market in Johannesburg is worth like $60,000, and to a bush-hardened African man who's just trying to support his family, like a guy that lives in the bush who just wants to support his family, $60,000 is
going to change your life.
It's going to good deal.
It's going to get you out of Africa.
And the sad thing is that they never get that money. They take the fall for law enforcement, while these kingpins, it's like drugs. Same deal. It's like drugs. The kingpin takes the money. These poor gentlemen who are just trying to support their family, get their kids to school, take the fall.
Have you ever seen Blood Diamonds?
Oh, jeez.
Wow,
Yep,
dude,
Blood
that is
Diamonds.
a touching movie.
Yep, that's South Africa
But
for sure.
that's dude, there were some real moments in that movie when the goat guy they cut that.
Yeah.
The guy had all the goats.
Yeah.
They cut open his goats and they were all diamonds fell out.
Whew, yep.
I was like, whoa,
that's the kind of stuff that you see over there. I was thankful not to have run into any
no,
of it.
of course not.
But that's the kind of stuff that happens. Yeah, for sure.
Like, wow, poaching is on another level.
Poaching, it's a whole international crime syndicate. It's wild.
That's one thing that it's so hard to track. Borders probably make it so hard to really enforce like the border of the United States and Canada is nothing compared to the border of the white pine species. You know what I mean? Or like the migration patterns of blah 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 blah. Like they don't give a fuck about the border between US and
they
Canada.
don't understand the concept.
Exactly. Right, exactly. They're just like trying to fill their niche.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
So that was something we dealt with quite a bit, and we'd have to take these hornos rhinos horns off.
Horny rhinos.
Yeah, saw that once or twice too. That's not something I probably should bring up on the Manny Baptista talk show. But when animals,
a rhino with a horn? No,
I mean they got yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they had two when you saw them.
Yeah. So you can't do the same thing with elephants, right? So
with ivory tusks,
right? So it's a great question. They don't. So it's a great question. If you can cut a rhino's horn off, can't you cut an elephant's tusks off? The answer is a solid no. And the reason is because tusks are more like teeth, right? So when you look at the skull of an elephant, a tusk comes out of their cavity, their mouth, their teeth. A rhino's horn is like fingernails. You cut your fingernails. I don't know if anybody cuts their teeth. Right. So I think that's the common misconception. If you were to cut a elephant's tusks off, it would be like giving it a root canal.
Ooh,
with a chainsaw.
Oh,
do you want to get a root canal with a chainsaw?
I have a fake tooth, actually.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh,
so not to compare myself to
an elephant,
but dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't your fingernails and your teeth made out of the same?
Not quite. So your fingernails are keratin and your teeth are bone. I believe. I hope so. I'm a kinesiology major. I should probably know that.
I thought your fingernails and something.
Your ears.
Your ears. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both keratin.
Yeah, which that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, life works in all different ways, but it's similar compared to
Exactly. And that's
like we relate with some animals just because of the features that they have.
Absolutely.
Oh, big ears. You know what I mean? It's like a tree, maybe. Like I spend so much time thinking about trees. There is nothing you can relate to your body to a tree.
Having said that, how does it make you feel, Manny Baptista, that people are more related to certain species of trees than we are to certain single-celled like viri? So
like
single-celled viruses and like single-celled bacterias. We are more related to trees than we are to certain single-celled organisms.
Dude, have you seen, that like fungi is closer
to animals than it is to plants? That shit blows my mind, dude. Like
it's hard to say too. If you look at the cells right next to each other, like a animal cell and a fungal cell, it looks exactly alike. But I will say, like, I've taken this class on mushrooms basically this past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Oh man, they work in ways that humans can't even wrap you have to spend 5 weeks just thinking about.
And they're like a mile long too. Like certain mushroom colonies are like a mile long. Like you see this little stump, you're like, oh look, a mushroom. But you've been walking on a mushroom for the past 5 minutes, my brother in Christ. Like Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like sometimes I feel like obviously all animals are important. All species are important in my eyes.
Absolutely.
But it's like
ticks maybe not, but the rest of them,
ticks maybe not. But, for the most part, I mean, a lot of people when you're walking through the woods hiking or whatever, you don't just look at a balsam fir and go, oh man, that thing knows exactly when it's hurt and how to heal itself.
Right.
That thing knows exactly how to get the exact nutrients it can out of the ground. There's a whole marketplace going on in the roots with the microorganisms in the soil that it's so it's like, wow. But we don't have roots.
No.
We don't have needles.
Nope.
We don't have I have wood. No, I'm just kidding. Not right now though. But
Okay, I
fucking-
hope not.
yeah. But fucking there's so much more that you can kind of see in a. I mean, a monkey is us. An animal.
Yeah.
An animal. Any type of animal, even a squirrel.
Yeah, even that
They
squirrel who has a
defecate, they eat.
yeah, I mean, we all do, every species on Earth does the same things. They just do it differently.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing is that like the blueprints are all the same, just little minutia make them completely
Yeah.
different. Like, I mean, you look at this, like just little minutia. They're all doing the exact same things,
Right.
but they're just doing it differently. It's insane.
Yeah. Totally. And they all play a very important role.
It's so delicate. The ecological
Right.
system is so delicate. So this summer, I'm going to be going to the Outer Banks in North Carolina on vacation. And do you know lionfish? Like, so it's a species of pelagic fish or like a reef fish. Marine science majors, please don't attack me for this. From the Pacific, and it's a very attractive fish. Beautiful, spiny, like.
Oh, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Put
Beautiful.
my feet up, relax.
Beautiful, spiny, like bright colored fish, right? All the things that every marine science major knows means danger. So it's very popular in aquariums, right? So it's over there, right?
In California.
Just the Pacific Ocean in general.
Okay, yeah.
And it's in aquariums on the East Coast. And these fish are aggressive. They eat everything, right? So what do concerned aquarium owners do? Dump them in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
So now there's this massive invasion all over the East Coast of these lionfish.
Wow, aquarium owners are that
Naive. Yeah.
naive, yeah.
I mean, plant owners do it all the time too, like unintentionally. Like, they'll
just
get like
throw
really pretty plants
Yeah.
and like plant them on there. And like, little do you know, this is like a super invasive invasion
Or
of,
like
Asian species.
Yeah, host species for white pine blister rust.
Exactly. Just shit
So many. Yeah.
shit like that. Exactly. So my next big adventure, I'm going to obviously stay hiking this summer, but I'm going to be in OBX and I'm going to be right on the beach. And I'm like, let's hunt some lionfish, right? Because there's so many of them, right?
Yeah.
And they have no natural predators. So they'll let you get right up close to them. So I'm going to get a spear. And
They hurt? Do they bite you?
they'll sting you. And their venom is super, super potent and lasts for like 8 hours.
It hurts.
It hurts really, really bad.
But if you're out of the water, you're all.
Oh no, it'll hurt. It'll hurt out of the water too. Like your finger swells up to the size of like a grape. It's
wow. And they're
Yeah.
they just let them roll.
well, they let a few of them, and then those started reproducing,
Yeah,
and those started
obviously, yeah.
reproducing, and it just became this whole
Where is it?
invasion.
Where is it really bad?
The Gulf, the Florida area, like the Florida Keys.
Oh,
and
everything is bad there.
that's
dude.
true. The ball pythons, the
Yeah.
lionfish.
There's the pythons in the Everglades. I don't know. We could go into a whole wormhole with Florida and how there's just not enough fucking room for wildlife to breathe. at all.
Absolutely,
They're just not.
absolutely.
It's literally wildlife haven of swamp.
Yeah, the Everglades
It's
are
a
insane.
massive swamp, and they just fucking concrete that thing and call it Disneyland. I don't know. Dude, let's wrap this podcast up.
Right
I'm
up.
so fucking glad to have you
Right
on.
on.
dude.
Yeah,
it won't
absolutely.
be the last time we'll have this guy on. So
Part 2. Expect it, my
yeah.
friends.
hell yeah. Thank you so much. Love you if you made it this far. Like,
Absolutely. Like
yeah.
if you made it this far, maybe you understand why I am the way I am in person.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
One of a kind over here.
Absolutely.
The kiltered badass.
Off-kilter Kempkes.
Killer.
All right.
Goodbye. Goodbye, people.
Woo.